Alright, so let's go up.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
So I think we're either in Edie's room or this is your mom's room. Packing peanuts. So this is
I understand why we left.
my mom's room, I'm assuming. Yeah, Edith, mom. So yeah, this is where we find out about mom's death, I'm assuming.
My mom
And
ended
what
up
happened to
leaving
her.
everything behind.
Yeah, she just up and disappeared. Wow. Alright, go up.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Okay. Series of unfortunate events. The game is what this seems like.
But it had to end one way or another.
Relatives just dying one after the other,
All
and
that's
this
left
is...
now is to tell you about that last night.
Oh no, we are going to talk about... Are we about to talk about my own death? Okay, I thought there was a knife at first. What are we doing?
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
And suddenly, it gets real. So, am I about to try to hide from Edie and
the power had been
Mom?
shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Okay, so I crawl in through here. So we finally get to see what the library is all about. And we are going to snoop in on...
You're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
Yep, that's exactly it. So, she's afraid of the family curse.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So...
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning.
Oh, wow. Sending Grandma to the home. Okay, so now I get to see Edie's story. I'm assuming is...
There's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Again, I'm sorry for the silence. I got kind of caught up in the story there. So we're heading out to the old house, and apparently we're about to see something different. So this is the day that I was born.
I got turned around.
Okay. I'm just gonna try to walk around this and hope that it helps me out.
For a while, I wondered.
So I'm kind of curious what happens when we get to the old house. Maybe there's something she discovered that has something to do with their death. Hi, dear. I like how the deer jumped over something, and yet as I walk in the direction of the deer, there's nothing there.
Things
So,
I'd forgotten had ever existed.
like decency and a bed.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends.
These
That
are
night,
pieces
a
of the
lot
old
things
house.
came back to me.
This is pieces of her
Or
of
maybe
her
I came
father's
back to
house.
them.
So there's a buoy stuck in the house. Okay.
Things
this.
I can't explain, but that I need you to try.
Hello.
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go.
And it gets
I
ripped.
kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
And we end up leaving. So am I going to get to find out what happens in just a moment? That's my curiosity now. Am I going to get to figure out what happens? Because that's... Oh, I
never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
And Great Grandma Edie died. The end.
The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Already dead. So that's what happened to Edie.
After that, we moved around a lot.
Okay, so what happens to your mom? Yeah, get the motor running.
We both tried to
Get out
make
of
the
the
best of it.
highway. By the way, if you've never done this in a vehicle before, it's kind of fun as far as letting the wind hit and go whoop.
A few years went by.
But if a wasp or something gets you in the hand, it's gonna hurt real bad. I'm serious, that like real bad. All right, so
My mom didn't like to talk about it.
So we're getting in a lot of
But
things
she
like
started getting sick
her
a lot.
mom was afraid of dealing
happened
with
pretty
the
quickly.
situation of what was happening in the house. And apparently her mom had cancer.
She got better for a while.
Sound
And
like
then
she had
she didn't.
cancer. Or something with her lungs. Then her
And
mom
then I was
died.
alone.
Okay, so that's how Grandma and Ma died.
The last Finch left alive.
And so now there is Edie. Now, I has
Until
questions.
I found out about you.
But is the dad dead?
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
Because there's some weirdness to that.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things.
Okay,
But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes.
Are you afraid that you're about to die and so you're doing
Appreciate
this?
how strange and brief all of this is.
Uh-huh. Wait, that's the baby. Oh.
This dream was supposed to be for you.
But
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just
I know where
want
that-
you
I know where that baby is
and tell you
headed.
all these stories myself.
He's heading out.
But I guess if you're reading this now, things
Then
didn't
she's
work out
dead.
that way.
Oh, Edie died in childbirth. Edith died in childbirth.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, she died in childbirth. And that's her son. And then the tombstone falls over on... I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. So that's how this ends. I don't know the final story, which slightly bugs me a little bit. Because there was something she wanted the family to know, and nothing happened out of it. But that's what remains of Edith Finch. And it is, I've got to say, I really enjoyed it for what it was. And I guess maybe it was wrong of me to laugh in certain parts that I did, and then turn around and go, I can't laugh here. But there were a number of times where I kind of found it funny. So, but I'm kind of curious though, what is it with the quote unquote family curse? Like there was something that Grandma Edie wanted Edith to know and yet never found out. And I get the feeling like we're never going to really find out. But I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. So I've got to say that I thought the game was worth playing. Like I said, this was listed as one of the top 20 best games for the PS4 on the PS4 store. And it was on sale at the time. I think it was like $10, $11. At the time that I bought it, it was normally like $20, and I thought to myself, all right, I mean, it's worth a shot. I guess I'll give this a go. And I didn't even realize that this was made by the same people who ended up doing, well, thanks, Johan. Okay, because he made the unlockables, so he made one to kind of, okay, gotcha. That's neat. So I didn't realize that this game was made by the same people that did the Unfinished Swan, which was kind of an interesting game to me, and how they actually tied that in to this game. That apparently Milton, one of her older brothers, is the king in the Unfinished Swan. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you just have to check the Unfinished Swan out to see what I mean. I might play it sometime later on in the future. It probably will not be the game following this one. I've got one or two other ideas of things that I'd like to do. But this was me wanting to try to play something that is more modern, and I think the only thing that I regret about this is if you see what I've shown, then you've pretty much seen the game, at least for the most part. And I kind of fear the fact that that having watched it, people won't want to play it. So I guess that's kind of the catch-22 of this. I would dare say, though, it would be an interesting thing to experience it yourself. And I kind of want to go back and do a review of it for sometime in the future, although I've got to say that there's a few games I'm needing to work on the reviews for. That I had promised that I'd do and have not been able to do yet, so it'll be sometime later before I get to this, unless the Finch curse gets me and takes me out. But, yeah, that's this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the rest of the credits, and you all have a great day. Bye now.